Hello, this is Jason from Sweaty Heroes Comic Bargains. We have here Superman Spider Man and Spider Man Superman. And these are new books, obviously, which I usually don't do. I usually do bargain books, but I'm going to throw them in there in terms of just some cool stuff I got as sales during the free comic book day weekend. So let's talk about it. And I'm Spurg, Ontario, and I went to Windsor, Ontario. Now I didn't get this specifically on Free Comic Book Day. I got this one actually on Free Comic Book Day, and I did pay cover price for this about what last month when it came out. But it has some fun crossovers, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to shout out and say this is worth the cover price. And but you might, this is an example of something you might be able to find even on a free comic book day. You might find extra copies of this on sale or something. But it was had some cool crossovers. It reminded me, even though I like kind of the fact that it wasn't like universe exploding, it was more like a throwback to Marvel Team Up from the 80s. And like that kind of was fun about this, and I enjoyed all the stories. But I'm not going to talk mostly about that. I'm going to talk about what I got. So then I got, I'm a Paper Heroes in Windsor. Shout out to them for holding this for me. And then I got at Paper Heroes in Windsor. I got Amazing Spider-Man Epic Collection. This was at 40% off when I bought it, and from $68, and it contains Amazing Spider-Man 207 to 223, which is the John Romita Jr. doing a lot of the artwork, and Frank Miller doing the annuals, and then Denny O'Neil, who later went on to be really huge with Batman, writing Batman, and then also he wrote Batman in the 70s, and then editing Batman, of course, in the 90s during Nightfall and all the cool stuff in the 90s. But he did some good Spider-Man stories in here. The annuals are the only ones I had ever read before. They were part of a trade that was called Sensational Spider-Man, which is right here. You can find that in trade for, it was like, at the time it was cover priced $8, but you can maybe find it in a back issue bin. As like a prestige format, and only reprinted 2 stories, and a third backup one just to make sure it filled in the gap or something. And then I would say that this is just excellent. And then like you had Spider-Man Threat or Menace was one of the stories with the Punisher. So it was an early Punisher appearance with by Frank Miller. And the other annual, which was, I had the Marvel Tales issue that reprinted this at one point too, was this storyline, who introduced me to to Doctor Strange. So this storyline with Doctor Strange, Doctor Doom, and Dormammu was a cool one too. Worth the collecting is Amazing Spider-Man Epic Collection. Now I have every Epic Collection at the moment except for 1 or 2. And I don't have Volume 2. I do have the Omnibus that collects Volume 1 and Volume 2. But I'm still going to probably get Volume 2 because I don't want to have all the epic collections of Classic Amazing Spider-Man except for Volume 2. That'd be silly. Here's an example of something cool I found. So that was Paper Heroes. And then shout out now to Boulder City Comics. We shift to Boulder City Comics where they were selling new issues for $2. And now I'm not going to guarantee that's going to happen every year, but on 2026 it was new issues $2, and I was able to pick up Absolute Batman number 18. I can understand why people like this and dig this, because Batman is built like a tank, but it really is a fresh take on Batman. The Absolute Universe is, I would say it's as different as the Golden Age was, like the Silver Age to DC was for characters. Like, when remember Golden Age and Silver Age was very different Silver version, or the Tangent universe. So it's like such a wildly different that you can understand why people would dig it, because it's like, oh, I've never seen a cool Batman tank who kills people kind of version. So it was kind of really cool. I liked it. I liked it more than I thought I would. Transformers 24 is special to me. I was going to get, unfortunately, I could not find Transformers 19, which I think was one of the first comic books I ever owned. I had like 2 Transformers fighting each other, and like gun western for some reason. But This Transformer has the death of Optimus Prime, and it's not the same as in the movie. It's in a video game. It's really silly, but I was glad to get this issue for the nostalgia. It was only $2 instead of $4. I really enjoyed it. Then we go on to our local comic shop, which is called Our Local Comic Shop in Windsor. They don't have new issues; they only have old issues. So they're focusing more on the old stuff, and they give out. They didn't have the free comic book day ones that are called free comic book day. So they give out free random comics that were from some dollar bins that they had, and said, okay, out of these dollar bins, you can pick out some random comics. So they had some interesting stuff. I really thought this cover of Uncanny Origins, which is like a book, it was supposed to be like a 99-cent book at the time, that kind of introduced you to Marvel characters, and this cover with Iron Fist kind of really grabbed me. Kind of thought it was cool. This issue of Tarzan, which is the 4th DC one. It's amazing how Tarzan lasted over 200 comic book issues, but Tarzan was done by Bell. I'm sorry, not Bell. Dell Comics, and then Gold Key, and then went on to DC. And this is really Joe Kubert art and adapting the first novel, and it's really good. This is a Eric Larson Spider-Man, but they had so many that they were able to put that in as a free book that they can offer. And it was Revenge of the Sinister Six. Cool. This thing I really liked Marvel Bronze Age stuff, and the thing looks like a lot of fun. This is a Dazzler issue. For some reason, there's like a big truck in here that reminds me of Optimus Prime. You can see that. But Dazzler, I don't know why, really a lot of fun. I'm not an X-Men. My X-Men's not my favorite thing, but Dazzler is a mutant and she's part of X-Men. But really a lot of fun. The fact that she's like a touring singer and all this, and I don't know, it was just a lot of fun, and it was connected with Secret Wars 2 and the Beyonder as well. Kind of a lot. Enjoy. This was in the dollar bin, and it's in rough shape. Should have been really in the free bin because of the shape. But one of the DC Marvel universe crossovers from the 90s. And it has things like the Hulk and versus Green Lantern, and Spider-Man, and is in it. And so is Wonder Woman versus Juggernaut. So this was a lot of fun. And Pat Olive, who did Untold Tales of Spider-Man, does the art. This is Dragon's Claw, yes. Marvel UK, yes. But it has one of the first appearances of Death's Head, who started out in a Transformer comic in UK, then went on to Doctor Who in UK, which is kind of weird. And this is like the 80s, and then went to proper Marvel UK with Dragon's Claw, and then later ended up in the proper 616 Marvel Universe. Yes, and he's basically a cyborg bounty hunter, and he just looks really cool. Death's Head 2 looked more like the Predator. This one just looks like a cyborg. It's cool. And then finally at Rogues Gallery, not Border City Comics, at Rogues Gallery Comics, we got Amazing Spider-Man Brand New Day issue, and picked it up at cover price minus 25% off. So he gave it to me for $2. So that was a great deal, a lot of fun. It's like the second appearance of Jackpot, not Mary Jane, unfortunately, but I enjoyed it. And because the Spider-Man Brand New Day movie comes out in 2026, I figured that makes sense to buy one issue. And I had not been able to get a copy of Spider-Man and Superman, so I bought this at regular price. A lot of fun, really a lot of joy to these stories. Go and buy some sweaty comic books that you can find, not just at Free for Comic Days, but many times your local comic store will have anniversary sales and bargain sales during the holidays. Go look for those bargain bins and look for those sweaty comics and read your comics. Today, sweaty.